I was thinking about it, you know, they dedicated one day to the earth and said Happy Earth Day. And that's what I posted on Facebook. Really, every day should be a Happy Earth Day, because it's because of this earth that we're all here. And it's what gives us, you know, the ability to go on. Yet, most of us have very little understanding of what the earth means and how we need to give back to it. For one, what it stands for, or what it possesses, is that sense of gravity, that centeredness that pulls you towards yourself. And that's what the earth should remind you of, that center in yourself that continually watches over you. The one that's watching this entire drama play out. That's what you're trying to go to. And it's very hard to say, to actually put your finger on it and say, this is the person, this is me, this is the one who's watching. Unless you look at what's taking you away from it. By a process of elimination, you discover that you are the observer. We're always involved in a drama, in a high school play, in a pantomime. There's a Broadway show going on in our heads all the time. Thoughts are coming up. Millions and millions of thoughts all the time. We're holding on to some of it we hold on to with emotion. Once we hold on to that with emotion, that becomes an impression, and that starts repeating again and again and again. And you are watching this repeat, right? Except you have not developed the knack or the ability to recognize that you're watching this drama going on. Which is why when we meditate, I say, become aware of a thought. Because once you develop that technique of watching the thought arise, then you can catch it. And you can stop this drama before it progresses. You can say, aha, this is the thought, the negative thought that's telling me that I'm too fat. I don't want to hear it all day. I know I'm fat. Okay? Doesn't make me feel good. Or maybe that's a thought that you need to hold on to and make the changes that you have to make, right? But how do you know unless you're observing? You need to be observing your thoughts. And this is how you discover who you are. This is how you discover what your purpose in life is. Today my daughter was telling me, I'm 28 years old and I don't know what my purpose of life is. There are people who've reached 93 or 96 and still don't know. You may be born again and again and again, and you still won't know your purpose unless you decide that it is your time to search for it. You have to take that decision to search for it, and when you begin the practice, the spiritual practices, then you will think of the knowledge. And then that knowledge, which you always, you knew about all these things. Don't resist things, it just persists in your head. You know that, right? If you keep on resisting something, it keeps presenting itself. You know that, your mother's told you, your uncle's told you, the person down the street has told you. But you don't practice it. Why? Because you have not developed the technique of observing your thoughts, of seeing it before it happens. How do you stay centered? By not giving it too much importance. By not being too happy or too sad. Being too happy is going to mean that there'll be a downslide. Sometime during the day, there's going to be a crash. You cannot remain continually happy forever. It's going to slide down. However, if you develop that technique of balancing it out, of not being too happy or too sad. Things don't go well, that's okay. There's always more opportunities coming your way. 5 people rejected my offer to, do meditation in their office. So what? 5 more are waiting. The right one has not yet come. Or I can feel thoroughly miserable and say, okay, forget this meditation thing, this is nonsense. I can sit in my corner and say, nothing's ever going to work with me. Try everything. I've tried for 50 years, nothing has worked. How does that help anybody? How does that help anybody? It helps to be aware of how much emotion you're investing in anything. Because the more emotion you invest, the more drained you become. The less centered you are. People keep talking about being centered, being centered. What is this being centered nonsense? Okay? And it is nonsense until you start putting that effort, self-effort in. Because meeting once a week is fine. You feel good. You come into this house, we meditate together, you feel good, it lasts you 24 hours. 24 hours later, trust me, those feelings will come back. You're going back to your life. You're going back to the same situation that made you feel miserable. So you need to make the change not in your situation, but in your reaction to that situation, in yourself. The drama, the problem, the pain is not outside, it is in your own perception. It's all in here. It's all going on here. We just have not developed the technique of observing. So, my mother picked up the book Practicing the Now, which I've got on my table. I read a lot of different books, and Eckhart Tolle has become one of my favorites now. And she was like, listen to the inner voice. She says, are people mad that they have voices going on in their heads? I'm like, it's not schizophrenics that have voices going on in their heads. All of us do. They may act on some voices which may not be nice voices, and so they're called schizophrenics. But if you actually paid attention, you do have that highway in your head. You do have a loudspeaker with things going on all the time. There's somebody talking to you. There's somebody telling you to do things, to react to things, to judge things, to value things, to pay attention, to let things go. These things are happening all the time, all the time. You've just become so conditioned, you're not paying any attention to it. You don't realize what it's doing to you. Because I keep saying that you need 2 things to make your life work. Number 1, you need spiritual practice. You need some sort of breathing and meditation technique. And you need the knowledge. And then you need to make them both work together. The spiritual practices allow you to practice the knowledge. It's not enough to know. It's not enough to listen. You got to take this home with you. And every day you've got to practice it. I practice it every day. I haven't perfected it. I'm just a little more aware than I was, say, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Every day gets better. Every day gets a lot better. I mean, if I remember the kind of person I was, the nervousness I had 6 months ago or even a year ago, the anger, the issues that I didn't know how to deal with, now are non-issues. At least, if nothing else, I can observe it happening. I can see when my internal resistance is coming up. When there is a situation and I want something else, and I can feel that resistance inside telling me, this situation is not for you. You need the other one, the one with lots of money. But that is not my situation. The one without the money is. Now I can see that, and I can hear myself saying, no, 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 no. That's not your situation. This is it. Accept it completely. Totally. What would have happened earlier? I'd have said, I should have been getting that. Why hasn't it come so far? It should have come. I've been trying for so long. It's been on already 4 years, and I should, this way we're not going to have enough money to retire. When are we ever going to retire? This is how your thought process goes. And then you find that you're anxious, you're nervous, you're stressed out, you're not happy. And I can tell you one thing, just now, this minute, if you don't decide that you're going to be happy, you'll never be. Because the future is a collection of this minute. It's this minute going forward every minute. So if you're not happy now, there's not much chance you're going to be happy tomorrow or the day after or the day after that. Not unless you make that change. You make that change and that decision. You take that decision to be happy now and to embrace it all. All the shortcomings, whatever the moment brings, it's yours. Can you accept it the way it is? And then the change can come. It can come overnight. It can be beyond your wildest dreams. I always tell you, tell everyone around here, I never dreamed that I would teach meditation or that I would tell people how to live their lives. I didn't think that I had it in me or that I was worth anything. My self-worth was down there. And I was on Zoloft for 6 years. They kept giving me these pills to make me feel better, and sure, the sun felt a lot brighter, but the day I learned the breathing techniques and the meditation, I threw the pills out the window. And yeah, it's a struggle. There are days that are not so good. It's 50 years of conditioning. This is what I've been taught from childhood, that this is what constitutes a successful person. This doesn't. This is what means happiness. This doesn't. This is what is good. This is bad. Opposites all the time, night and day, good and bad, pain and joy. It's thrust at you all the time, and you're left, trying to put yourself into different pockets. Am I a middle class person? Am I successful? Am I Indian? Am I an NRI? You're always labeling everything. Then, once you learn to meditate and you learn to practice the knowledge, it is the knowledge that sets you free. Nothing else has bound you. Your situation has not bound you. Your marriage has not bound you. Your job has not bound you. It is only your mind, your perception. I had an aha moment last Sunday. I teach creative writing to kids, and I played a video of, it was the sound of an ocean. I thought it was the ocean. So I played that clip, and there were 8 children in the room, and not any 2 had the same reaction to that clip. One said it was a dentist drilling his teeth. One said it was a construction worker in the garden. Another guy said it was a TV when the static, when the channel goes, he says it was that noise. Somebody said it was a rain. I was astounded. I kid you not, there were 8 different reactions. Not one said it was the ocean.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. So the solution to life, how can it be the same? When each one of you has got your unique perspective, your unique situation, your unique problem, your unique mindset, your unique bodily problem, who is going to give you one solution to it? Just suggestions. Just a path. You take a happiness decision and you walk. Then you walk on your own. You answer your own questions. You discover your own identity and your own purpose. But it's easier. It's easier because the mind is calmer and quieter. The knowledge is with you. And you're connected to people and to abundance. And then you have only that one feeling that I'm centered, happiness is my birthright, and abundance is also my birthright. It comes with it. Once you're happy, you have a feeling of abundance. If you're unhappy, you are poor. You are poor. You have nothing. You have nothing. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, you have nothing. So take charge of your life. Take back that power from everybody else, from your situation, from your spouse, from your job, whatever it is that is controlling your happiness. And then declare, I will be happy today and every day. I will not allow any situation, any event, any person to deny me of my birthright. And then you will sit centered and be part of this earth and feel connected in a way that you've never been connected before. So before we even go into our meditation, that is the thought we're going to have. That sense of connectedness with the earth and everything it has to offer us.